Okay, good to go. So coming off the bye week, we practiced this morning. All eyes on UW. We actually got some work done last week on Wednesday and yesterday, and so I think guys took advantage of it. A couple of days off, body healing up, 8 straight games, and so I think the bye came at a good time. I think it's an even playing field. They're scheduled the same way, and so I'm excited to get back to work. Got a big time challenge in front of us on the road. A team that knows how to win, knows how to score. It's going to be highly competitive on that side of things with their offense. Defensively, they can affect the quarterback. Guys on the edge are really good, maybe as good as we've seen all year, and so we'll have a challenge offensively and the hostile environment. Great place to play a football game, fan base into it, crowd noise, so looking forward to Friday night.
The first national ranking in 9 years. I know it doesn't help you win a game or lose a game or really anything else, but what does it mean to the team?
I think it's a little bit like preseason rankings. Not in midseason rankings. We're not into and pay a bunch of attention to. I will say though, I think it's a recognition of the work these guys have put in and the progress we're making. But we're definitely in the postseason rankings.
Where do things stand with Chance?
Actually, limited practice today. Still limited. Didn't do the whole thing, and so we'll see how he kind of responds and works through the week.
Is it likely that Ben would start Saturday,
I mean,
Friday, just because of
where it's at today? Yeah, it'd be Ben, but we'll see how he kind of responds and works through it.
outside of Lowe and Musgrave? Is there anyone else that's not going to play Friday?
Marco Brewer won't play again. Injury that it's going to take at least a couple of months to get back from. So you won't see Marco. You won't see Alton Julian this year either. It kind of wasn't recovering the way we wanted. Took another direction, so he will not play this year.
Washington's passing game, probably the best you've seen all year. What's unique about what they do?
Yeah, starts with quarterback, how accurate he is. I do think they do a great job in pass protection. This guy's allowed to get back there and stretch the field. They got really good receiver play. The schematics of it, they'll throw it underneath, they'll take shots down the field. They get unique formations on balance, put everybody into the boundary. So it's all of it. Quarterback, protection, big-time receivers, and a great scheme.
Back to the ranking thing, how far do you feel like that goes as far as, when you're recruiting, being able to sell the success and say, here's a tangible thing you can point to?
Yeah, I think this week you can talk about it to recruits because we all know it can change in a week, but definitely helps that people taking notice of it in recruiting.
And you mentioned the atmosphere, the game day environment up in Washington. Obviously, you've had a couple of years of experience up there. How much of a home field advantage is that, just with how loud that place gets, just the overall environment there?
Yeah, it's an advantage. The atmosphere, energy, crowd noise. Just off the tape watching them this year, they play confident at home, play really good at home. And so it's been an advantage.
During this week off, I'm looking back at the first 8 games. Did anything on the tape jump out at you that from the team from this first stretch of the season?
Yeah, we did look at a lot of it. And so all 3 phases had some wrinkles, some things that they identified we got to do better, / things that we actually did better than we kind of thought. I don't think we're far away in the pass game to be more explosive. We've taken some shots and we got ways to tighten that up. I think it's been effective. I think defensively, you can start to see trends on how people want to attack us and things, and so having some answers there. So we got a lot out of self-scouting us.
During the bye week, you said 2 practices. What's the goal during the bye week? What do you work on?
Yeah, well, again, off of that self-scout study, and so cleaning some things up in practice that we noticed over the first 8 games. Did use a portion of those practices to get ready for UW.
Do you feel like, you don't want to say anything bad about the guys that you're about to face when it comes to quarterbacks, but do you feel like you've kind of gone through the gauntlet of quarterbacks that have great feet and escapability? And does Penix offer up some of that?
Well, he offers up an accurate and a great thrower of the football. I mean, this guy can change his arm angle. I mean, he is just accurate. It's tight windows, likes to throw it, and he wants to throw it first. Plenty of ability to extend. A lot of quarterbacks have that, but this guy is a great thrower of the football.
This series always seems like one of the teams isn't quite in sync. This is kind of the highest profile game since the 2000 game. Do you recall going into that game, was there much hype at all? Because I mean, at the time, you guys were both, I think, both nationally ranked, and
Oh, and
do you remember it being a game that you really were a little more amped up for? Or?
I don't remember a bunch. I felt like it still was the front half of the season. I think we were coming off beating SC at home or something. You're talking 2000?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember it was a close game throughout, a lot of offense going on. But don't remember a bunch of hype on
Yeah, it
ranking.
was game 5 of the season.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask the kicking situation. Where's Everett at?
Everett practiced today, kind of let those guys see how the week goes and make a call. Obviously, we're hoping Everett can respond to a day of work and how sore he is the next day type thing. He's working through it. The guy's a tough kid, but we got confidence in Atticus too.
Is this the deepest into a season you can remember when you've really had to start preparing for a wet game? Because you haven't had one yet, and
No question.
Friday, probably got a good chance to be
Yeah.
one of those.
It is. I mean, the weather around here has been great. I don't think it's rained for like a 2-month stretch, maybe even longer than that. We were talking that leading into the Colorado game, chance of rain in that game. We hadn't practiced in it. So it's good. We were out there even today, got a little bit of sprinkle and counting on it being a little wet Friday.
Coach, on defense for Washington, what have you seen? I mean, they have 25 sacks and about 5 or 6 different guys with multiple sacks. What is it that they've done that creates those kind of numbers?
Yeah, I think it starts with their edge players. 8, 3, 58. Those guys are tough to block one-on-one. Aggressive style of play, so they got some really good players on the edge that create some issues. And they're not shy. If they want to pressure, they'll pressure. If they feel they can get pressure on the quarterback just with 4 guys, which they've proven to do. Because that stat does jump off when you look at these guys.
And the running, they only give up 110 yards a game. Now, I know sacks are factored into that, but they've been pretty good against the run, though.
Yep, physical up front, big bodies. With their offense, some of these games, less rushing attempts have taken place because they can score in bunches.
With the weather probably being probably going to be raining as well as a hostile environment, do you practice? Do you pump in crowd noise, nonverbal cues, anything like that this week?
Yeah, we've been working with the crowd noise up at practice. A couple different snap counts to deal with that. It's nice that it got a little wet today to deal with that. The other piece that comes in that stadium is the wind can change on you. It can get a little windy, and so you got to be prepared for all of it.
Couple of line questions. Offensive line, Jake Levengood, he's replaced Nate from last year. Nate was obviously a 2-time All Pac-12 guy. It feels like he's quietly had a good year because we haven't heard a lot about him, but it just seems like he's had a good year. What have you seen?
Yep, been really solid. At center, it starts a lot of with communication, getting everyone on the same page. Levengood is athletic, our style, getting him outside and wide zone and doing that. Kind of a leader, influencer on this team, that group led by him, really Kipper. He's been really good this year.
And then the defensive line, over your tenure, they've taken a lot of hits. But again, that's another group that seems to quietly be having a good year collectively. Is there one guy or 2 guys that have really, I mean, we know about Sandberg, but is there a guy or 2 that really have improved a lot and really made that line put it together?
Yeah, Simon has been steady Eddie, not getting but in the right spot, pushing the pocket. I think they're playing with some confidence, trying to, get up the field. Sione's done some really good things for us. Haston play a little inside the last couple of weeks and outside. And, Hodge coming back and being around it. James Rawls has done some really good things. Been in the backfield. He's probably been the most productive for that group. And you're right, because this defense has been playing at a high level. We're going to need to on Friday. A lot of attention from the secondary, which is well-deserved, but the front's been doing their part.
Very good.
Thanks.